Hello everyone and welcome back to another adventure. Today I wanted to show off a new park that I started building in Planet Coaster, which I named Flying Eagle Preserve. Now this park is inspired off of Silver Dollar City in Branson, Missouri. For those of you who are privy to the roller coaster community, I'm sure you know it. It's a very famous park, built in the hills, very inspired by the land around it. And the name actually comes from a nearby state park that is basically right behind my house. So this series is basically just me going in. Right now, I just wanted to show you the first little bit that I have done. So in just a minute, we'll go ahead and hop in and I'll show you what I have completed so far. I may try and do a couple of build videos or something, maybe a time-lapse building a coaster or a station or something along the way. We'll see what this series becomes, but why don't we jump right into the game and get started. Alright, so now we are in the park, and up at the front entrance where you will see I have built the security hub, and you can see immediately how I took inspiration from the woodland theme. And so you'll notice as I'm going through, the camera might jump or twist, and clip through a building or something. That was really out of my control. The console edition, which I'm playing on, allows for very smooth panning in large areas and overhead views, but not very good in tight spaces, like there and there. So as you saw, I went through a custom metal detector, which that's just basic shape pieces, and then over here the red building is the area where you would purchase your tickets, and the blue building is bathrooms and ATM. Immediately I wanted to kind of enunciate how the park is built into the forest, and just there you will see trees everywhere. And then I got the sign kind of inspired by Silver Dollar City as you walk through the entrance arch and have this little roundabout here, pass holder bridge over this little stream in the middle, and then all other ticket holders would go over the bridge and take a little bit longer route around. Again, this is inspired, this part specifically is taken almost directly from Silver Dollar City, in that, just exactly, they have a nice little walking wooden deck, leads right up to their pass holder entrance, or everyone else will have to go around. And yes, I do plan to build a hotel in the park once we get to the center square, and there, again, it clipped through a building. So, sorry about that. And then here we have stroller rental and stroller pickup, and you can see my little crude art-shaped piece. Kind of supposed to be plastic blue stroller. If you've ever been to the SeaWorld parks, you'll recognize those. And then this would be guest services. You can purchase Fast Pass here, which I call Trailblazer, again, stealing from Silver Dollar City, almost directly that time. Guest services, you could also get, your medical pass, or any other, ticket benefits, upgrades, whatever. So, Loopings Bridge. This is, ignore the building at the end. That building is just placeholder and shape for what will become a hospitality house-inspired building. And right now I was just pausing and waiting for a train to come over the bridge. But Loopings Bridge is basically a nod to another Planet Coaster creator. Oh, there is the train. On Instagram, they go by the username Coaster Loopings 360. So you'll see Loopings Bridge, 360-degree views. They do amazing recreations of coasters, just from all over, and their recreations are so detailed. So I wanted to add a little homage to them in the park. And here comes another train. And there will be other references to other Planet Coaster creators that I admire or look up to or have gained inspiration from. So you can see I have built the first coaster in the park already and treated it up and just added some nice details and built it into the terrain like Silver Dollar City. I will be saying the name of that park a lot because that is my main inspiration, my main preface for this park was Silver Dollar City. This specifically was kind of inspired by Time Traveler, their Mach Extreme Spinner. Obviously, it's not a spinning coaster, nor is it launched. But you drop down into the pit and you stay in the pit. You rarely ever come up out of it except for the station and brakes. This one obviously uses some of the cliff walls and whatnot. And now I wanted to change the sun so that way you could see it. Sheets Cabin. That is named after Mike Sheets. He is another Planet Coaster creator. He collaborated a few years ago with another creator named Masked Bandit on a park they called No Name Landia. I absolutely love the park. Their series is really, really funny. And it's just, he's an awesome creator. And so again, wanted to immortalize him in this park, basically. And then here's a little porch. Just threw like some barrels, some lanterns, some chairs, some tables around. And then this station is kind of inspired a little bit by Phoenix at Far Up Summerland. The wooden with the beams and everything. And then this took me like a while to, you'll see here, I'm trying to play with the camera to get it to ride right along the top of the track. But basically this is the transfer table, or transfer track, where trains could be transferred off the main course. They would back up out of the station, transfer onto the storage track, and then once I get it lined up to where I want it, yeah, and then you can see they would head in the back here. I think I eventually kind of gave up on trying to do that, where they would go to another transfer track where it could be transferred into the actual train barn itself, so they could do maintenance. And I didn't detail the interior. There was no reason to detail the interior on this building. No guest is ever going to see it. So, you know, the supporting is fully custom. I had to fully custom support this because the model is not in the game. Again, this building is just for shape. I just wanted to show the other side of the bridge. Now, this gate had to be here because this is where my main square area was going to be. So, limited access, team members only. And I'm going to have a square, put like a hotel, restaurant, and shops, obviously, in it. Here, so to transfer trains off of the course completely, to get them away from the park to do annual maintenance or whatever, you need a truck. So basically, the truck would back in here. This is supposed to imitate a garage door that would lift up, and there would be a crane that would take trains from the storage track building or storage shed and lift them onto the truck. Cobra's Curse, a Mach family spinning coaster at Busch Gardens, uses a similar system where they unload from the side because the back of the train barn backs right up to the first show scene, and the other side backs right up to the brake run, so there would be no way to get trains off without a truck impeding on the course. Same thing here because of the terrain and the way that I have set up myself for the square area. So, just trying to do some little cinematic shots and show off this coaster. And now, I'm not going to do a POV, but I do want to do just like a full cinematic of it following the train. Here are the ride stats. 87 miles per hour, 242 feet is the biggest drop, so obviously it drops down into the canyon. 91 seconds of duration, over 4,700 feet. Ignore the G-forces, those I know are a little high. Some airtime, some inversions, and why don't we get into, spoilers, why don't we get right into the POV? Alright, so that was what I am calling Wilderness Flyer. The name is inspired by an old attraction at my home park, Busch Gardens, Tampa, that used to be called Jungle Flyers. It wasn't a coaster, it was more of a zip line meets sky ride type of attraction up on top of the climbing structure called Treetop Trails. The coaster model itself that this is a new generation Vekoma suspended thrill coaster, or STC. Now, that model is not in Planet Coaster. So I actually had to take the suspended coaster track, and that model is like Iron Dragon at Cedar Point, or the Bat at Kings Island, or any of those, and then put the two across seating trains on it. And that is how I got this effect. That also works for the suspended family coasters from Vekoma in this game as well. So, some of the elements, I wanted to go kind of airtime focused. That's why I put a hill right after the main drop. One of the big emphasis, one of the main elements, I should say, on the only STC in operation at Tripsdrill, which is at Tripsdrill, is a highly overbanked turn. Some inversions, barrel rolls. I tried to make the negative G-stall loop like on Phoenix, but it turned out to be more like a zero G-stall Immelin. So, it didn't come out quite right in the shaping, but, Now, here's the park at nighttime. So, I tried to keep the lighting kind of warm, not too bright, but I also didn't want it to be dark. Like, a lot of these parks are just very dark. And I don't like that. I don't like that they're dark. They shouldn't be dark. You should be able to see. But it doesn't need to be lit up like industrial lighting like a shopping mall. Now this here, you can see the path itself is very dark, but there is some accent lighting, or not even accent lighting, just lighting on the sides to help you be able to navigate where you are going. And then if you come around here, the bridge is lit up pretty nice. And you'll see a slight blue glow casting on the support. I actually ended up putting floodlights under the lake because there are small bodies of water that I placed in the ravine. There goes the train again. There are small bodies of water that I placed in the ravine and you can see I'm pointing it out here, just to add some effect to the coaster. Or just to add something else to look at while on the coaster besides, like the trees and the interaction with the cliff wall. Another terrain element. And then the only industrial lighting in the park is right there at the transfer track, train barn, because that's where it would be. So now back today, and here's just kind of a little overhead view of the park. You can see I'm kind of pointing out where, like, this area here in the center, that's where the square is going to be. The shape building, like I said, was going to be a hospitality house style building. Obviously, we're going to have to add a lot more trees to this area. And all areas of the park are just going to have to be very heavily treed because of the theme that I'm going for. Have to build the queue for the STC. So to even, like, really begin the first area, I still have a lot more work to go. And some of that I probably will do a couple of Let's Builds. I'm thinking I'm probably going to have a candy shop in the center square, and I think I might do that as a little build segment, and maybe doing some of the structural parts for the restaurant that I'm going to call the Old Mill Restaurant, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But that's going to conclude it for this episode. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this park, and I hope that you will come back for episode 2 to see what this park expands to and what the square becomes. So I will see you all next time on another adventure. Bye.